Today's session, though, will be about the tenant and the owner app. There's been quite a few questions, just from especially our newer customers as well. So we thought it's opportunistic time to run through the tenant app and what your tenants see, and also the owner app and what your owners see. And there's a few little other settings around that as well. If you do have questions during the session, so depending on the group size, if you want me to unmute you, I'm happy to. But if you prefer, you can use the Q&A button down the bottom of your Zoom panel, and that will allow you. Prefer to talk, just yell out, put your hand up, and I'll turn that on. I think I remember how. And we'll sort of answer them live as well. We will have plenty of time for a little bit of time for questions and answers as well. So today's webinar, my name's Jason. I'm one of the product trainers here at Console. So I'm helping with a lot of the newer customers come on board, and obviously existing customers, and these sorts of education sessions. With me also, and my apologies, Brooke, I didn't have your photo, so you've got a lovely little avatar.
very much younger than me, so I like it.
That's all right. That's cool. So Brooke's one of our senior customer success managers, and obviously she's been an experienced property manager for many, many years. Not to emphasise your age, you don't look old at all, but so it's great to have you. So we're going to sort of tag team today. I'll sort of talk about the tenant app, and then Brooke's going to we'll talk to the owner, and then we'll sort of answer any questions as we go. Cool. So I sort of just re-highlight what the tenant app and owner portal is. I know this is pretty self-explanatory, but it's really just to sort of highlight the key benefits of it, and what really, I guess I look at it from Tenant as well. I use it through my own agency, and obviously my family members use the owner portal for their investment properties as well. And they're the agencies that manage it through Console Cloud, so they've got that opportunity to see that as well. And Brooke also from a PM perspective. So put really, really simply, so the tool, obviously for owners, it's a tool where owners can see really key information about their asset. So it doesn't show everything that you do or every transaction or anything like that. It's just really those really key things, such as available balances, withholds, little bits and pieces, which we'll explain when we run through the owner portal. The tenant app, it's a tool for tenants, obviously. I find it really, really helpful because you can view rent payment info, so no more ringing my agent, and my agent vice versa, no more receiving phone calls about tenants' rent and sending ledgers and things like that. It's all in the app. You can also log maintenance from the tenant app and view other key information about your tenancy. So that could be really a summarized version of your lease agreement and things like that. And I guess if you think about it, they're really communication time-saving tools is the way I sort of look at it. So we're sort of taking that time away, giving that time back by not having you really respond to, some of those more basic time inquiries and things like that, such as obviously one of the most common ones is the rent ledgers and the payment histories and things like that, by allowing obviously self-service and a little bit like that. It's also a tool that you can offer. I've seen a lot of agents included in their offerings when they're going for new managements and things like that, as a tool that they can offer as an additional service. So it is a tool that you can utilize. Obviously, it's free for all your clients. And that's really it for the presentation. So we'll jump into cloud. What I'm going to do, I might do the tenant app first, Brooke, and then we'll run through the owner portal after that. How's that sound?
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Perfect. Awesome. So I'm just going to log in. I'm going to share my phone on my screen. Sorry, 1 second. Just got to get it to share again. I had it shared, but then it sort of disconnected, which is okay.
It doesn't last long. It's always a bane. It's always a problem for me as well, Jace.
Yeah, I think you've got to turn the auto turn off thing, technical term. Awesome. There we go. I've got it. I just need to move it over to the other screen. Okay. So I'll just get rid of that for a minute. I want to see all my lovely passwords to every single thing that I own on there. Probably not a good idea to share that with the world. All right, so I'm just going to log into the tenant app. So your tenants can be invited while I'm doing that. So really, really easy to invite tenants. So from the people tenants, there's a little send app invites. And when I do this, what it does is it brings up this message, and it's just basically going to tell you what it's going to do. So it won't receive, people that are already connected or currently invited within a certain period will not receive double messages. So you won't spam your tenants. The people that will receive, obviously, is the people that have never been invited or the invites expired and that sort of thing as well. And obviously what it does is it allows them to create an account and then they can log into the Tenant app. Awesome. Nearly there. Sorry, guys. I did have it logged in. So my apologies. It's always the way when you're presenting live. That's okay. There we go. Have liftoff. That's better. Okay, I'm just going to move it back on the screen. Oops. And there we go. Sorry, everyone. I've just gotten rid of it again. There it is. Okay, so what you're seeing there is the first screen. So it opens in a highlight screen, and this will show your basic, your office contact details. So I can click on that and call the agency directly from just clicking on that. So it's sort of a little shortcut. Down the bottom is the 4 little icons for the tenant, and obviously the first one, just to note in this first one, if you are using paperless entry inspections, they'll actually appear in this first screen to review. So just above where it says office contact details, you'll notice when you share that with your tenant, they'll have a review option in there, and we'll just basically outline what they need to do with that. So I don't have it for this tenant at the moment, sorry. So the next little tab across or button across. So these are all my recent maintenance requests. Obviously, there's quite a few new ones. This is just because I've been demoing this and using it. So some random wall pictures and door and window pictures. But basically, the tenant has that visibility to see their open maintenance requests in here as well. And obviously some closed ones and stuff like that. So you can see there's a few there in there, and they can click on there. So it doesn't show any of the extra details that you put in, such as your own notes internally. It just shows the basic information that was logged. They can also log the request from here. So by clicking the little plus in the top right, so I'm tapping on that, you won't see my clicking. So what this will do, just like you log a maintenance request in cloud, it'll allow you to enter this in. Just a note for those that are using Maintenance Manager or Console Maintenance Pro, so that will actually appear differently for the tenant. So what that actually does is it shows a little fair few little options, and it asks them to select things such as, let's say it's a leaking tap. It'll ask them where the tap is, how fast is it leaking, when did you notice this was happening, those sorts of things. So if you're using Maintenance Manager or Maintenance Pro, it will show all that information as well on here. So just to note there, this is the basic standard maintenance flow that I'm using. So that's what we'll show for my tenant. Across to the dollars, actually, let me change to my other tenant that I had some actual rent receipted. There we go. So you'll see here, and this is where it really comes in handy. Obviously, you'll see those rent receipts appear here automatically, and I can download them as well. So once I've clicked on, let's take it back a step, click on one of those rent receipts and click on one of these, the little up arrow, and it'll allow me to download that copy of that rent receipt. So, so that they don't, in case they ever need it as well. Also, the key information in here will be the paid information. Awesome. That's what I was looking for. Sorry. So it doesn't show the paid to date here. Just had a moment there for a minute. Where it does show the paid to date or rent paid until is on this screen. So that's the last little tab. Will obviously be the tenant's details, the address details, when they're paid, or the lease start date, the weekly rent, and then most importantly in here is obviously that rent paid until the 8th of March, and obviously the tenant details, including all tenants. And then if I click on this view agreement, it's going to show me a shortened version of my agreement. So if I ever want to find out when my lease ends, which this has no end date, then I click on that and I can see that information in there as well. Cool. There's some other little options, but they're really just about the app itself, standard app stuff in there. Awesome. So that's pretty much it for the Tenant app. It is quite straightforward. As you can see, it's not showing every single little bit of information about your tenant. It's really showing that key information that that we need to know. Awesome. Do we want to talk about the owner portal now? Because that's obviously a big one on everyone's list, is the owner portal and what owners see. So I thought it's a great opportunity to run through that. So I might hand over to you now, Brooke.
Too many screens open, so apologies about that. Okay, so this is our owner portal. So this is what your owners are going to see once you invite them to the portal, and we'll show you how you can invite your owners in bulk and or individually if you want to send a select few invites out first. But if your owner has multiple properties, they will see all of their properties in the one screen. So they can actually get a really nice view from the photo that you upload in cloud, so what we call a hero photo in cloud. They will see the photo of the property address, and if it's been leased or not leased. So if there is a vacate date in that has been passed, then it will show as not leased. But let's click in and see what the owner will see after that. So it's a really nice representation to your owner, an extra or additional service to them to be able to show them their property anytime they want to get in and see their documents, their owner statements, their end of financial year statements, their inspection reports, if you decide to share their inspection reports with them. It just gives them access, whether it's after hours or on a weekend or at the time that they want to get in. So we all know everyone's busy. We're busy with work, and we just want to get access to our websites and our documents when we need them. So giving them this access, they can see everything about their property. They can see that it's leased. They can see who it's leased to. It just has the first names as the lease agreement would, has the lease start and end date, and also the rent that's being paid. Now, the great thing about this is it also shows any insurance details that you are keeping in cloud for the owner, so they can see that their insurance is up to date, or if it's coming to expiry, it gives them a notification, or it gives them a visual that they need to send you a copy of the insurance certificate. And same with compliance, it just lets the owner know that you've got everything in compliance up to date if you're adding the compliance and using the compliance workflow in cloud. Again, it will show any available funds that the owner has and any expenses. So it will give them an update of any creditors that you have in the bills workflow or payments ready to disperse to creditors, any fees that are due to come out. The other areas that are brilliant is the inspections. So if you are sharing, sorry, I'll start back on maintenance because it is the first one here. So in activity, we can see any activity around maintenance, inspections and finance. So maintenance is just going to let the owner know that you've created a work order. It will just give the description and what the status is. So you can see down here the status is closed, when it was last updated and created, and this one here is the work order was sent. So that one's open at the moment. There's no extra information given to the owner, so you can write whatever you want to the creditor. The owner's not going to see that information. They just know that you've created a work order for the water leak. For their property. So it's still keeping some privacy and keeping some information back, so you as the property manager can converse with the creditor or the tradie as you need to. So inspections, this is the one that I'm most excited about because these inspections look fabulous. So if you're doing or using the paperless inspections in Go Inspect, once you've sent that report to the tenant, if you want to share that with the owner, which is a really nice visual for the owner to see their property, you can share the entry inspection and it will appear in their portal. Now, the visual is a HTML view, so it's not a downloadable report. It's actually a view that they can get in and see the photos, zoom in on the photos, see what you as the landlord has put, you as the agent has put as the conditions. So whether it's clean, working and damaged, and then your comments. They can also click on the photos, zoom in, zoom through those photos. So it's a much better version than little tile photos on a printed out report that's been scanned and signed back and forth and doesn't have good visuals. They can also then see what the tenant has written. So if the tenant didn't agree and had to put comments and photos, they can view that as well. If they agreed, they can just see that the tenant's agreed with all the conditions. As you can see here, the tenant disagreed. They've had to put a photo on as proof, and that's the photo there. So this is a really nice representation, especially if you're charging for inspections, to say, look at the work that we've done. We take care of your property. Here is all the details from your entry inspection for your record. I really like the look of the entry and exit inspections, which also appear on here as well. I don't think it's
Yeah,
got
they
an
are really
exit.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're really good. Now, finance is the next one on here. So any invoices that have been raised and sent to a tenant, the owner can see that you're actually sending those water invoices out or trying to get a refund for some maintenance done at the property. There's nothing for the owner to do. It just states what the invoice is, gives them a little drawer, letting them know that this is for maintenance, and it's $300 due and payable by the tenant. The main one that I would say that owners would use this for is obviously their statements. So their owner statements or their end of financial year statements will all sit here. So they've got access to them at any time. So when they're going to their accountant, they can grab them. And the documents. So the only documents that are appearing here are your routine inspections. So routine inspections, they can view or download those reports. If you view it, again, it's viewed the same way that they receive it in an email. So this is the format for the routine inspections that are sent to owners. Once again, it's great for them just to be able to have access to those at any time. So yeah, going back, that will list all of their properties here. They've got access to get in and have a look at everything they need. Just a really nice representation of your owner's investments. I
Hey,
think, unless
just a
anyone has any
question.
question, yeah.
Oh, actually, just confirming on the if we go back into one of our properties, it's for my own sanity too, by the way. In scroll up, I lost my train of thought. Those inspections reports, they also get the PDF copy, don't they? Just confirming. Yeah, I think someone asked me that yesterday. So they get the inspection in here, but the owner will also have the option to, if they want, to view that PDF copy. Is that right?
From the inspection workflow, when you share the report with the owner, it'll actually send them a PDF. So it sends them the PDF in an email, and the email has the link to log on to the owner portal. So either to get into the owner portal and view, or they've got the PDF report on the email that is sent.
Perfect.
We got any questions?
Yeah, a couple there. What about inviting our owners as well? Because that's similar to the tenants. I thought we. Bronwyn's question, I'll read them out. From Bronwyn, will maintenance look different to the owners if we use Maintenance Pro? No, the short answer is no. It's only for tenants with those ones, because this one is more of a summarized version for your owners. The tenants, if they're logging it, it's the experience is a little bit different. There'll be a few more options. I actually think I use, my agent uses Maintenance Pro for their agency, obviously. And when I log my maintenance through that, it actually comes up with some more options. So it's really, really good. Another question from Renee. It would be helpful to be able to let owners see financial year statements as an option. That one, yeah, sorry for interrupting you, Brooke. I remember we did talk about this. This was actually feedback from quite a few clients, actually, because some agencies are charging for those financial year statements and preparation. So it was originally there, but it's not there anymore. But we'll certainly put that through to our team as well.
Yeah, there is some work, some additional work around how to share those end of financial year reports if they want to, and charge at the same time. So that's good feedback.
There's another one in there from Renee in the chat. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, Renee. We'll take that one. It's about the owner portal. We'll get back to you about that. Thanks for that. Any questions while we're talking about owner portal, tenant app?
I just want to go back to, if you can still see my screen, how we actually can invite our owners and tenants to the portals. So it's really simple. It's really just a one click from either the owner list or the tenant list. So you can bulk select or individually select your owners from this list. And sorry, you don't have to do that. My apologies. I'm getting having a bad day today. You can actually
All
just send the
good.
app invites. This is going to send to all of your owners if you choose to send it this way. If you only want to select a couple of your owners, you can actually do that through each of the owner agreements. So whenever you're on an owner, you can see that this owner has actually already been sent an owner invite. So it says resend because it has expired. They do expire after, I believe, 5 days. Do you know, Jace, if it's, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure it's always 5 days.
yeah, it's 5 days for owners
Yep.
and tenants, so it
Okay.
will resend it
Yep.
as well.
Yeah, so you
It's,
can
it's
resend it from here. You can see if they're connected or not. Same as with the tenant. Tenants can be invited from here or from the actual tenant list as well. So again, if you click this send app invites, that is going to send to all of your tenants, which is a great idea because you really want to get as many on as possible. Start pushing them towards those avenues first before they have to come to you with any other queries. I see a question. No. Jace, did you have anything to add there?
No, I think that's pretty much it. It is quite straightforward. I guess the only sort of, I guess, common questions we get from other agents. So the available balances is a common one that you can see on the. So a lot of owners, it's good to, when you are sort of onboarding owners and tenants, to explain and maybe send them out a little bit of information about the app, more from your point of view, especially for the owners when we're talking about available balances. Just if it says it says available balances, but sometimes you might be using that money for bills and things like that. So it's a good sort of bit of housekeeping to sort of explain if you are new and you're onboarding people to the owner portal, especially. How can we test a tenant portal? That's a good question. Yeah. So technically, you could create. I don't know if you've had another way to do this, Brooke. So testing for the tenant portal and the owner portal.
Yeah, just create a tenancy in your name. So just have a test tenancy in an owner, which I recommend you doing. You can use your email address. Once you invite yourself, you'll get an email like this. So I just want to show you what the emails look like. It will just let you know. So this is to the tenant moment. It'll give you a link that will take you to either the App Store or Play Store to download that tenant app. And I did say 5 days. It has actually been updated to 30 days that link will expire, which is great. So the invites will be sent out to you. Just click on the link. You can download the app for the tenant app, or you can just log into the owner portal. And yeah, just use your email addresses. You'll have no problems doing that if you set up a test or a dummy tenant and owner against a property. Just make sure you make them inactive when you finish with it, so you don't have those sitting there. So you can make them inactive and active again when you need to test.
Console charge is part of the no. So tenant apps and owner portals will always be free. So they're a tool that's always there. They're already there. They'll just get obviously enhanced and updated. For a few more options in the future. Certainly the owner portal, especially for their owners.
And just to the clients that I deal with who have been using owner portal and tenant app have come back and said that their clients love it. So their clients, especially tenants, loving the ability when they get paperless inspections when they first move into the property. The report and survey back from the tenants are saying how fantastic it is to do a paperless inspection and not have paper to carry around and take photos on top of that. And owners are also loving it, especially when they can see a photo of their own property and just keep on track with what's happening whenever they feel the need to. That's me.
Another little comment there from Renee. Sorry,
not the console charge as part of the properties in current. Yeah, only if it's there at the end of the month when you're billing. So that's why I mean, make that property inactive.
Yeah,
before when you're finished testing it, just make it inactive, and then the management agreement inactive, and that won't be charged for.
Yeah, good point. Sorry, I read that wrong. That's me. I've got to. It feels like it's been a long week, but it's only Wednesday.
I know.
So, well, it has been a long week. It's been a really busy, and I'm sure all you guys are busy. So, well, what's the time? So, we're right on 11:31. So if there's any more questions, pop them in. We'll stay online for another minute or two. If you've got any burning sort of questions about these, we are back on Friday. So myself and probably Emma, just with a general Q&A. So that's a Q&A session open to all clients, especially those that are new, who want to ask specific things on how to use or learn about using Console Cloud. You're welcome to sort of pop along to those in November. If not, I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining, Brooke and Em, and obviously everyone out there. I'll email the recording out, this one, and I'll also share it in our Facebook group as well. Once I upload it to YouTube, we'll put it on there for you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Have an amazing day.
Thanks,
See you.
everyone.